It's Quest Wing. July, I guess when this airs, August 2021, Quest Wing. How's everybody doing?
What date does it
Hot
air?
Wings Wednesdays.
Hot Wings Wednesdays. What?
It goes out on Wednesday.
That's true.
Today's message is sponsored by.
Yeah, if you are a barbecue place and you want to sponsor us, by all means, we will take payments in pounds of hot wings.
Dave, nice try, honestly. Just a great try with this thing tonight.
Yeah.
Really well. Just good try.
We're recording this on a Monday, if that's not immediately obvious. We're all drinking, setting a proper tone.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Murray, your favorite phallus.
Oh.
Yeah. It sounded way better in my head before I said it out loud.
I'm sure
this is what happens when you put me first.
To be totally fair, he's only my second favorite. Hey everyone, it's Isaac, and I haven't done this voice for a while, but I play Frostglade.
It's like
I
second
was
nature.
going to say phallus too.
I play Phallus.
What do you play on the show, Isaac?
Oh.
We don't know that yet.
Wait, am I next?
No, I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, you are now.
Okay,
Yeah.
you said the name so fast. Hi everyone, I'm Dylan, and I play Maris Honeysuckle. You're happy intern. That's
And
last
again,
we were with her.
they've had a sip or two. It must be said.
You know, but last time we saw Maris, though, I don't think she was that happy. So
No, probably not.
I don't even remember what happened the last time with Maris, but that's probably accurate.
That's a good question.
death and gloom.
Yeah.
It's par for the course. Yeah.
And finally,
Last but certainly least, Nico. Hi, it's me. I played Okri, and I'm currently. I guess I also played Edmund Kowalski, the nervous wreck. And who's to say what I'll be playing next? Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't introduce. I also play Papa
It's okay,
Jones.
so we're here for another episode of the Quest Wing, which is our behind-the-scenes, infrequent show where we basically take questions, just chat about how things are going, just generally hang out and talk. So what we're going to do in a couple moments is we're going to go over to some listener questions. And I've also asked everyone in this call to prepare a question for one other person in the call. So we'll kind of go through that. So off the top, off the mic, off the dome, whatever you want to say, is there anything that you all wanted to talk about, just kind of in general?
I mean, let's recap that final episode of Soulbound. I thought it was funny because after we recorded it, we were all, saying our goodbyes to Okri in the group Discord chat there, and Dylan was freaking out, going, "What happened to Okri?" And we had like kind of a nonverbal agreement to just kind of like not.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't explain it at all.
He's
We're
in a
just
better place now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were gonna wait for Dylan to like listen on the episode and then just catch a reaction at that point. But unfortunately, Franco forgot about that nonverbal agreement that we totally all agreed upon, and spilled the beans like the week before the episode went out. I think, like he was on board the entire time up until he forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to catch your reaction, Dylan. What did you think of that? Your roller coaster of emotions. Take us through it.
Take us through.
It hasn't happened yet because I haven't listened to the episode.
Oh my god.
Big oof.
Why are you even here?
Yeah, I see you've done your homework for this.
I was like, for a moment, I was like, can I fake it? And I was like, I can't.
So,
I truly can't.
The ups and downs, the emotions, really.
Yeah, I will say that when Franco spilled the beans, there was shock and upsettedness that I wasn't there to witness it live.
Wait, so you were upset that that Okri survived because he spilled the beans, and you're upset?
Yeah, that is pretty frustrating. I've been trying to kill him for episodes.
I mean, so have I.
Yes,
it's true.
It was blatantly
that's why
clear
I'm
that you were
upset.
trying to kill your character, Nico.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it was more like I want to have like a cool, I want to have like a cool emotional moment.
Let me. This feeds perfectly into our first listener question.
Oh boy,
Cindy B from the Netherlands asks,
hello.
Did you ever kill your character because you wanted another character? Why did you want to change, and how did you kill him or her? So,
a good question.
Nico, why don't you start us off?
I will start us off. I did try and kill Okri at least twice that I can think of.
What was the first time?
He wandered into a room with like
Oh.
a demon by himself. He's just like, hey,
Oh, so 3 times because there was a demon one. No, actually, no. To be fair, the demon room, the room with Voss, I actually did go in there being like, okay, I'm gonna like gamble something here. Like, I don't want to like die. The first time was when I was like, hey, Grimrot, take me instead of these guys,
Right.
and then everybody fought against it, which was really nice and very. I was like, oh, they care.
I
So
love
yeah,
Okri.
Yeah.
Okri's like a father to us. He's the one who wrangles everybody.
No,
no.
like that.
Like a weird
that
uncle.
Short, a weird uncle with
Fine.
greasy hands
You just said short? Why
and
did
really
you
nice
just say short?
hammies.
specifically like the short uncle, you know, the one.
Yeah,
We all have that one uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
slightly
no,
round.
Yeah, just generally, yeah, exactly.
So, going through the rest of it, why did you want to kill Okri off?
Good question. I think it was mostly why did I want to kill Okri off?
No. It was Dave that wanted to kill Okri off, right?
No, let's not. There's many people that wanted to kill Okri off, but
Yeah.
Nico, why did you specifically want to
Why
kill
did
Okri
I
off?
specifically want to? Partly, especially like at the end there, like the reason why I chose to kill, and by kill I mean retire Okri, is partially because of like a party balance thing. I felt like every time people went out on an adventure, either Cass or Frostglade would get the shit beat out of them because no one else could take a hit. I mean, yeah, it happened.
That's
yeah,
fair.
but, right?
Maris
Like,
just gets hit and she
because
dies.
no one else
so.
can take a hit. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like, I think a bit more party like balance would be a little better. Also, the fact that like it's no strange fact that I've been in a lot of the adventures and I have racked up a lot more XP than others. And it's like I don't really, especially having gotten the long-term goal that gets you an extra 10 XP, I didn't want to play at like, you know, a bracket above everyone else and be like, hello, I'm here. I'm going to charm the enemy and they're going to fight for us now and shit like that. Like, which obviously wouldn't have happened, but like just to like bring it back into balance. I was like, you know what? Like this guy's story's done. Let's do something new.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the sheet right now. With the goal XP that you got double the amount of everybody, except for maybe Cass. But that's insane. So I mean, how does it work here? And then maybe this is a good question for Dave. Is like when you're making a new character, do you just start with 0 XP, or do you get a little bit to be comparable to everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Nico. You're looking this up before. This is kind of your
So when you in the rules, is this like codified in the rules that when you complete a long-term goal, you can either choose a new one or you can retire your character and make a new character with half the amount of XP you ended your character with. So in a weird way, like retiring Okri at the time I did, I'm back at like what everyone else is at, which works out pretty okay. I was like, yeah, okay, like sure, this works okay. Yeah.
I feel robbed. I feel robbed of the first death. I wanted to go so traumatically that no one would want
died
to.
Yet. That's still available to you.
You
he's
can
not
still
dead.
kill Maris.
Okay,
Is that what you?
I'm gonna kill Maris off, and it's gonna like be so traumatic. People are gonna stop listening.
Yes, because that's
I'm kidding.
definitely
I'm
what
kidding.
we want.
I'm kidding. I'm not doing that.
What? How about the rest of you? If you've ever have you ever wanted to kill off a character or anything that you've had in an RPG in the past?
I've never tried to kill a character, but when we were playing 5th edition D&D a couple of years ago, I was so bored with my character, and I was trying so hard to make him interesting that I harpooned the campaign, I think, by expressing my displeasure with my character. Sorry, Dave.
There's a backstory here.
You played in that one. I was just 5th edition D&D, and I was giving it a shot and trying a new thing. Went human. Who the hell wants to roll a human in any game that you play? Like, what is this escapism? And yeah, we'll get back to you, Maris. And I tried my damnedest to make that character interesting and gave him a backstory and leaned into it as hard as I could. And I was just bored to tears, literally leveling up in that system and making 0 decisions. Come on, Watsy. You guys are doing great work out there. Apologies.
I was gonna say I'll jump in because I was thinking I've never actively wanted to like off a character, but then I realized like a few years ago, there's this tabletop game called Deadlands, and there's a few different versions, like Deadlands set in like the West, and then I think modern time, and then like in the future, like spaceships. And we decided we wanted to play through all 3 of them, I believe it was. And for whatever reason, in the first one, my character actually became the catalyst to like something happening, like the time travel or something, and she died. And like I didn't quite plan it until like that session, and it started going that way. I was like, this will be fucking awesome. And then we fast forward to whatever the future, we recreate our own characters, except the one dude with the duster, his character time traveled all the way through from like the Wild West to like spaceship time. And then the second campaign, same thing happened again. My character was involved in whatever catalyst to like end the campaign, and I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. And she died. And so I'm not planning that with Maris, but it was just, it worked out, and it was so dramatic, and I was just kind of playing those type of characters. First one was kind of not insane, but like didn't really give a shit. And then the second one was like very sacrificial, got to help everyone and support them, and I'd sacrifice myself. So it just kind of like played into their ending.
Nice.
Really well.
3 for 3, let's go.
Yep, Maris is a bit of a catalyst.
Sorry, Maris.
I've never purposely tried to kill one of my characters off. I also usually DM, so I don't get that many opportunities to play anyways. But I can relate to what Isaac was talking about, getting bored with their character. And what I usually do is that anytime the PCs come back, when I'm DMing, anytime the PCs come back or like they wrap up something, I give them an opportunity. They're like, if you want to try out a different character or try out something else, we can work them into the narrative at this point, and we can work out a reason why your previous character, needs to take a break or whatever, what have you, right? Like, and then what ends up happening is kind of cool is that people usually are juggling 2 or 3 characters, and if one of their characters die, they can just bring one of the previous characters back. And at the current level, and it's just suddenly, hey, this is, and it's not like, oh, we're pulling a random person out of nowhere to like jump into
son
like,
of
you're in the middle of like in an interstellar, I don't know, like fire temple, and suddenly just so happens there's another person who's just like, hey guys, you're looking for a 4th party member? No, like maybe you have a friend who's been trying to track you guys down for like ages, right? Because he's like,
our goals completely align.
To each their own with like tabletops, but that's one thing I do not like is like, and you all just show up in front of this dungeon, and now you're gonna go clear the dungeon. I'm like, what? Where's the role play? Why are we together? Why should I give a shit about these people I'm in a dungeon with? Yeah, but that's a really good strat.
Yeah,
I do like that,
and it's cool because you have multiple narratives. So if you get bored of one, you can kind of flip flop back and forth between them. And
makes
it's cool
the
to try to find.
Harder.
It does. And you try to loop them all, try to group them all, and try to come up with like how they intermingle with each other in the stories. But it makes a really interesting narrative when it works. Yeah,
nice. That's really cool. I like that.
For cast to cast questions, I have Frostglade. I have Isaac, don't I? Do I?
I don't know. Do you?
Oh, are you Isaac's Secret Santa?
Yeah, we'll say
you do now.
Because I have 2 questions, right? Well, they're kind of the same.
Against the rules, you have to choose one.
Oh no. Well, I'll present 2 and you pick. But like, if Frostglade never joined the binding, if Frostglade never joined the binding, what would he be doing?
Oh wow. He'd probably be dead on some battlefield somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing your characters.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, sorry, I know that's not a long answer, but he's a little bit tortured, and he chose to join the binding to escape, in a sense, to escape the greatest gift of his people, which is the spirit song and the feelings and emotions and expectations that heaped upon him. And based on his failures in his backstory, he actually had joined the binding to escape that. If he hadn't been able to escape that, haven't been given that opportunity, he would have pulled an Okri, but successfully, I suspect.
Hey.
And that would have been the end of him. These are just feelings, but yeah, I could see that being likely.
Nice.
Nico / formerly Okri.
Yes.
Okri, in what I suspect is the longest single round of combat ever played, you performed that parlay and then ended it by murdering someone. Frostglade and many other characters don't know anything about this. In fact, the only one who does, I think, is probably Cass, because you flat out told her.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what level of of responsibility do you expect Okri will need to take? And I guess maybe a better question is, will Cass let anyone know? Because from what I recall from the the session, Cass was just like, "Hey, Okri, it's all right."
Sure,
I love
sure, you killed
Give me
someone,
a hug.
but it's okay. Franco's unfortunately not on the call, so I can't speak for Franco's character and what Cass would have done. But I feel like, I mean, whatever responsibility can be heaped on him will probably end up happening. But that's the fun part about it, is that now that I've retired Okri, he's technically just an NPC. So,
So you don't care?
I mean, it's out of my hands. It's quite literally out of my hands. It's like he's part of the world now. I don't really have much agency with him because I'm like, hey, you're done. You know, like he's done. He's doing his own thing now. And if that own thing is him just dipping, I'd be like, sounds good. Out.
I'm not seeing Dave.
Wait, is
quickly...
Dave doing Okri's voice from now on?
Yeah,
I sure hope not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
I didn't see Dave quickly finish his rosé and then jot down a bunch of notes. So maybe he's not taking the bait here. But there could easily be some.
I know. I thought about this.
Shit!
Yeah. I would love Dave to like play Okri's character and then just tell Nico to re-record all the lines in his own voice. He's like, "Oh, and by the way, you said these things." It's like, I would never say that. It's like, well, too bad. This is what you're talking now.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say he'd probably own up if Cass spoke about it.
All right. Well, I guess it's all heaped on Cass's shoulders.
It's all on Cass now. Yeah.
Dusty shoulders.
Exactly.
All right.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's on me now. Dave, so we've done a side arc and like we've tried out new systems and new games and stuff. So what's another? So say like as a player or a GM, what's another genre or system that you're like, I want to try this?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Something I want to do.
Yeah,
I'll take this one for you, Dave. It's Pathfinder 2, Dave. It's Pathfinder 2.
Paranoia. Anyone heard Paranoia?
I have a big passion for mechs, and I've really been looking for a tabletop system
Lancer
that
RPG.
Something, or like the Mech Warrior RPG or something like that. I would love to have a campaign that's really just all about these big robots just like, smashing each other apart and all the politics and stuff around that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
If anybody out there has an Escaflowne RPG system,
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple Gundams on my desk that I'm working on right now, and I got some I'm building some stuff. So yeah, if anybody has a good recommendon about a mecha
Dave, it's
RPG,
pronounced
I'd love
Gundam.
that. Gundam.
Gundam.
Models.
Yep.
Some Gundam models.
it's a Gundam.
Nice.
So Murray, we all know that you are playing. We all know that you're playing everyone's favorite High Seas Corsair. I was curious if you had thought
second favorite High Seas Corsair.
Second. I'm curious, like if you
second fiddle to Isaac. Yes.
How much of Fallis's backstory have you kind of really thought about so far? Like I would say that Fallis is one of those characters that like I'm really excited to see, where he goes. But I'm kind of curious, like if you've, thought about like, his motivations and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I had like, we still need to like sync up and kind of go over together because it seems like you have a little bit of an idea of things that might be affecting Fallis, and I want to make sure that it works out with the stuff that I've been kind of keeping tabs on. I've written some like short stories and some background hooks and stuff like that, all in the nice tidy little folder that I sent to Dave, and it's still left on seen, not read, but so I mean, yeah, there's a bit of backstory for Fallis. He's probably mentioned a few things every now and then. I have a few things if the opportunity comes up, I want him to be to talk about. There's a lot of little things, but there's also a lot of openness, right? Like, and that's kind of like, I want to work with you, Dave, and also to fit him into the world that you've created and the story that you want to tell. So there's a lot of room for, wiggling the here and there. There's not a lot of like hard and fast, like this is the way things are going to be. There's things that I prefer, or this is how Fallis sees these situations, like from his perspective, right? And those perspectives can be twisted. Like the truth can always be different than what the person saw from their perspective, right? So there's always that kind of stuff. going on. And it's really funny because when I first, decided I'm going to do a Corsairs, it's like, well, I'm just going to choose a person who was stuck on a boat his entire life and doesn't really know the world, because I, as a player, don't really know the world. So I didn't want to play as somebody who is expected to like be familiar with these things and not be able to play that kind of character, right? And just have like faux pas after faux pas. Whereas with Phallus, I can be tripping over my toes and it's perfectly, within his character. So I want to set myself up for a plausible failure, as opposed to,
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I've been thinking, like, since we took a long break from Soulbound, I've actually, I'm going to prevent myself from the sentence too sincerely, but I've been thinking a lot about Phallus's backstory and all that kind of stuff. And like kind of, a lot about that. So I'd love to kind of explore that. I'd love to explore Phallus's backstory with you.
It's okay.
It's really hard to get through this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My turn to ask a question. That's right. I'm totally
What are you pointing at, Dave?
He's pointing out the window rudely at some human being.
So my question is for Dylan.
Hi.
Obviously, the scene where Maris reveals her magical powers didn't, play out very well, or, to the what one would say the best. In your head, how did you imagine that scene, was going to play out when that happened?
Everyone was surprisingly cool with it.
Did you just answer for me, Dave?
No, I wasn't.
Wow.
But like,
What scene specifically are we talking about? When it was revealed where you got the powers from, or like previously when you were casting spells?
Yeah,
Because
there's
those of
two
us
reveals.
with moral compasses had a problem with you casting spells randomly out of the blue.
Yeah, I guess it would apply
Sorry,
to both of them, because you probably, this is like you were thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to show off to my friends, and then later on, like, the man finds out, the teacher, the principal, they find out, kind of thing. Yeah.
So I think I was expecting, because like Dave is not far off. People were like, some were kind of weirdly cool with it. Some were like, I feel like it was probably like, it's Maris, of course it's okay, right? Because it's Maris, right? Like she's, she's just really happy, whatever. And then some were like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Why aren't you giving it up? Why aren't you wanting to be like, the demon exorcise you kind of thing? Because she was very much against that. I think that got a little bit more of a negative reaction. I forgot what the question was. What did I expect how do people to react? I think I expected them to be a little bit more curious when she suddenly got powers, but she kind of lied about it, or just lied through
Omission?
Omission. Yeah, exactly. And I think what she felt a little bit more torn down by was like, she got it from a demon, so it wasn't her hard work. Like she didn't actually work for it. So that kind of fucked her up. And then people seemed to be, they were obviously upset that there was this puppeteer, if you could, or mastermind, like pulling on the strings, and that she didn't tell them everything about this. Like, why are you lying? What else are you lying about? Kind of thing. So I think like while it wasn't people yelling and screaming, it was the disappointment that
I'm
came
not mad,
through.
I'm disappointed. Yeah.
Exactly. And that quite hurt Maris, I would say. So like in a way it was like surprisingly cool, but then also just she lied about it. So they just trusted her because there was already that trust there. They'd already been campaigning together. So it was about what I expected. I think if people started screaming and yelling at her, I'd be like, oh no.
The trust is
crying.
The trust has taken a few shots, I think.
Exactly.
Recently, yeah.
I mean, I was really wondering, like, what's going to be next. I don't know if this will be telling, or this is something people have to tune in to find out. Like, are you going to continue with magic?
I can tell you that in the moment, Maris does not want to let go of that. Like, yes, she feels a bit shitty that she didn't like earn it in a way. I mean, I guess in a roundabout way she did by just existing. I
earned it by having friends.
Yeah, right. I had having friends in the right places. But I think like to her is that she can do good. At least she can do good. Maybe that good is not the same good for Frostglade. Maybe that good is not the same for all of the binding, but she's very convinced, as the wee little human mortal that she is, that this isn't bad, and she'll make the good out of it.
Maybe
So we'll see
objectively
where that
speaking,
goes.
Well,
it's
what
not
is
good
that
at all.
quote? It's like the something comes
Maybe
with
the
good
ends do
intent.
justify
The road
means.
to hell is paved with
Yeah,
good intentions.
maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, maybe the ends
You
do
mean that
justify
one?
the means. Maybe the road to hell is paved in good intentions, and she'll take like a 90-degree 180
Maybe
turn.
my new boyfriend lives under the ocean and has been eating people and their souls. You know?
I'm waiting for
Spoiler.
Marius to put like the black lipstick on and dye her hair. You know, just go full
This isn't a
goth.
phase.
She doesn't have a boyfriend. She doesn't have a girlfriend.
Yet.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
she's
also-
solo.
Yeah, I think also for that reveal, you had probably the 3 chillest or most
Oh, yeah.
blasé people to be there with you. Of just like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. One of them
Yeah,
literally
especially
just drinks from a
Okri.
chalice of blood. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I unrelated to that question, great question. But I want to say that I joined this cast almost exactly a year ago today. I know we're airing in August.
Oh,
And we're-
shit.
But
yeah.
I
Oh my
looked up
God.
and I created Maris's a character sheet July 19th.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So-
wow.
That's
It's coming
great.
up.
It's July 26th today.
I've had
That's
frostbite
fantastic.
in my heart for 38 years.
Well, you know
Aw.
what? Great for you. I put a little bit of me inside of Maris, which probably
I
isn't
believe it.
surprising for all of
Yeah,
you.
I'm not going to say the same thing for my character. Not because it's not true, but just because of phrasing.
Yeah. General phrasing.
So there's a little bit of phallus in all of us, I think.
At least Dave said it. Yeah.
Let's go back to another question. These are kind of related, actually. So the first question is from Levo. Will Okri make any cameo appearances? And then there's also a question from Louis from Montpellier, France.
Hey.
Or it could be Louis, but I'm pretty sure it'd be Louis. I'm just
Pretty
making
sure
an
it's
assumption
Louis.
there.
It's pronounced France, Dave.
I have a question about Master Okerson. What will happen now that he's
Oh my
retired?
goodness.
From what I understand, one does not simply walk away from the soul binding. Will he still serve the Storm's mandate through the Caradrons? And what does he want from life now that he's found a new crew?
Maris is going to
Okri-
kill him.
Yeah, fair.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nico, maybe do you want to answer about a little bit about what you think Okri wants, and then I can maybe.
Yeah, sure. I think more than anything at this point, just peace and like working out like his demons and stuff. I was actually chit-chatting to a friend about this, a friend of the podcast, about the whole like, oh, Okri joined this crew and like he isn't the captain, kind of thing. And he brought up a good point where a lot of times like on ships, they'll pair a green captain with a very experienced first mate to have that like that experience, but that person isn't necessarily in a position of like full authority because they aren't a good captain, but they're
Are
a
you
great
saying-
first mate.
Are you saying that Frostglade's the new captain?
Well, no, it's more like the
Jokes.
like
He's
actual like
green,
on
I get
actual.
it.
Jokes,
Yeah.
jokes.
You're
See,
allowed
Good
to have
jokes.
jokes, Isaac.
Goodbye, guys.
Yeah. Well, that
I
was
try
good
to be
times, like-
supportive.
Yeah. And yeah, nice. Yeah, and so that's kind of like where he's at, where it's like just a position of comfort, and like he doesn't want to make big decisions, doesn't want to be like too involved in like making these choices that'll affect like tens to like hundreds of people or whatever. Just hang out and fly a ship.
And he never
Back
did
to
sell
basics.
that giant Ignis Jade rock.
That too, never got
Yeah.
around to it. I lost control of that narrative. And for the other half, I guess I'll throw it over to you, Dave, because technically Okri is now in your hands.
Yeah, Okri is an NPC, and I think that the way that I think would be the most respectful way to play this is as disrespectful as possible. No,
Yes.
Okri is going to be
Sully
an
his
NPC
memory.
in your general circle, right? So like when you're going to go deal with the Caradron, I mean, or even around Storm's Mandate, like Okri is available to chat with or anything like that. And I think if there's big decisions, depending on whether or not I think it would impact Nico's decision making, I will kind of proxy ask you what Okri might do in these kinds of situations, because I think it's still important.
I do very much appreciate that. That's nice. So you don't just
yeah,
go,
but-
hey, now
but-
he's in prison.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
considering
at
how
the same
powerful
time,
those
yeah.
troopers are, like Okri's crew is basically like another powerful party out there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
the
thing.
Thunderers are
doesn't want to do that.
no.
Doesn't want to be like the.
Let us know how the White King goes.
Yeah.
I'll be back here.
Yeah, exactly. Just bombard them a bunch. It didn't work out that bad.
Yeah, so I think those are those two questions.
Cool.
Oh, I was going to ask one other question, but I forgot what it was.
Dylan, did you say you had another question for Isaac?
I mean, this question actually could go to anyone. I was just gonna ask well, it's gonna be a really sweet question. Tell me about one of your characters, like a cherished memory they have from a childhood. And then I was like, oh, I could be really dark and say, what hurt you? Made you this way. But I will go with the sweet question and just kind of if you had to think about I'm assuming we all have pretty good backstories for our characters. If you had to imagine or come up with a cherished memory that maybe your character thinks about now and then, what would it be?
That is a nice question.
No one has good memories. Okay.
People with
Moving
good
on.
memories don't become adventurers.
Don't get soulbound.
Yeah, that too.
Apparently, I'm just asking this question for me to answer it.
Oh, Dylan, do you have an answer?
Yeah.
No,
Is there
I
something you want to
hear
share with
Isaac's.
class?
I actually don't. I have to come up with one now. Isaac?
In thinking about it, I didn't think I had an answer because Frostblade was almost certainly actually, who knows how old he is? I'm not sure how old they get. Let's assume he's experienced almost nothing but the season of war for the Sylvaneth. So he probably doesn't have sweet memories of growing up dancing among the soul pods and eating well, I don't know if eating fruit
Good
would
berries.
be yeah, exactly. So he probably doesn't have something like that. But in his backstory, the branch witch who took him under her wing and taught him to love, spending time with her, even the mundane times with her, would probably be very much cherished memories, which is part of why he ended up being who he is.
That's very sweet.
Yeah,
Aww.
sweeter than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Marie, Nico?
Let's see. For Okri, it'd probably be getting into the Arcanauts, becoming a crew member on a ship before the whole the whole shit went down with Grimrot. Probably that first moment of hey, you're in. It's oh snap, I am in. So I was reading up on Caradron culture and in the battle tome for Age of Sigmar. It's Industrial Revolution to London. It's hey, you work in a factory or you're a sailor. And what else is there? Well, you toil, and that's pretty much it. And so I can imagine that becoming an Arcanaut is holy crap, I'm out of the factory. I'm gonna join a life of high adventure kind of thing, and then stuff happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd imagine that would be induction into the Arcanauts would be a big holy crap, I'm making it. Moving up the ladder.
I definitely
kind of thing.
think the relationship between Grimrot and Okri was not always this toxic, hostile.
No, definitely
arrest
not.
or kill
Definitely
on
was
site relationship,
under the wing, hey, this guy's cool, and then
that's always one of those tough things with when you have a villain in an arc where you don't really. It's hard to kind of find those opportunities to to delve into that a little bit more unless you're explicit with it. Yeah,
I think we did a pretty good job with it. It was implicit, which was nice. There was never a big aha, the reason why I hate you is because of this.
Right.
Oh, the reason I hate you is because of this. It was
you stop in the middle of the battle and go do a flashback.
Backstory.
More natural and less, not
I'd say
forced.
that kudos to you, Dave, for that excellent role playing when he first showed up.
That relationship went really bad.
Yeah,
As it turns out.
Did it ever?
I did kind of always wish that we got a little bit more Grimrot, but that's okay. Last fight was pretty insane.
David,
crap,
nobody ever really dies.
Yeah, no one's ever really gone.
Yeah. True.
Except Grimrot.
Oh, just wait for it. Just you wait. It'll happen.
Oh no.
How about you, Murray? Any early phallus memories?
Too many to
no.
count.
No.
No, I mean this will be diving into a little bit of that backstory I prepared. One of the things when I was reading up on what the Corsairs and such is that they are no stranger to the slave trade. And
Mhm.
effectively, Phallus is a slave growing up on the boat. And this is kind of common for even back in the days, like privateers and such, is that you have cabin boys who you've just acquired somehow, and they work on your ship. And if they do good, they will rise up and they can eventually, come into their own and such. So Phallus actually grows up on the boat. He doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't know his lineage. He didn't even have a name, right? So, and I also kind of think now, kind of working around, obviously the name that I picked out for him turned out to be way more humorous than I intended. But it kind of makes sense if you have a bunch of pirates who's going to name a kid something that they would choose kind of a name as a slight. And then he himself just doesn't realize this,
I love it.
Oh, that's great.
You made it tragic.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you made it sad. I love it.
And so him growing up, he has a few father figures, and one of them is Eglad, who is the quartermaster, and he learned basically all the weapons that he knows from him. And then to Dylan's second part of the question, about like what a little bittersweet or sad moment is that at some point, and this is something that we can touch upon later, Dave. Something soured among the crew, and somebody started a mutiny, and Phallus and Eglad actually ended up on opposite sides of this one. And seeing how Phallus' side won because he's still around, implies that something happened to this person who had basically taught him everything he knows.
So where's the good memory?
Well, good memories,
nice memory.
as a kid, going up and having father figures,
Yeah.
And then it becomes bittersweet when you gotta murder them.
Yeah. Oh, there are plenty of
okay.
potentially really nice memories
Okay.
wrapped up there for sure. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, thank you. I'll answer my own. I think I've mentioned in the past before, obviously Maris comes from a family of trade pioneers. She inherited pickles from her grandpa, and her grandpa was I wouldn't say black sheep, but just kind of went rogue and would chase endless spells, helping mages and wizards and all that, chase endless spells. So it was very adventurer. And so he would tell her stories when she was little, right, when he'd come back, and she would actually try to reenact them in play, right? As kids do imagination and all that, and be like, okay, you play this, whatever baddie, and I'm gonna be my grandpa or stuff like that, and they'd make play and pretend, reenacting his stories. And then Maris would have to correct people and the other children when they did it wrong and they didn't know the story. So she'd be like, you have to do this, not that. So that's kind of what I see as a really good memory of okay, this is Maris, coming into being Maris.
Yeah, that's currently my life right now with my kid.
during Maris's play in my head, I can think of shadows or creatures watching her and plotting their futures.
No.
Oh no, that is great visual.
That is actually,
I like that.
Yeah, it's creeping me
We're
right
making
out.
we're making it canon, Isaac.
Cool.
Nice. Dave, write
so
that
I have
down.
A question. I have a question for all four of you, and this will probably be touched on as we start playing again. But what is currently driving your character's motivation? What? And I mean, Nico, you get a little bit of a pass on this, I suppose. But
Oh no, I'll
we
talk
kind of
about
already
my new
talked
character.
about.
Yeah, I'll talk about my new character. Yeah.
Sure. But what's kind of the state of what does your character want, leading into the next half of this, and whoever's ready.
Yeah, Phallus got two things on his mind. One is hunting down the Moby Dick whale.
Merworm.
The merworm. It's kind of being his next kind of trophy that he wants to take. And then obviously the other one is the story hook that Dave's provided for us. What the hell's going on with Shurdan? The Black Ark that Phallus is from.
That was a great Dave impersonation. Wow, spot on.
I thought he spoke, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I actually, on that note, I actually do like, Dave, that you threw in the modern Age of Sigmar storyline in there of Anvil Guard's now called Har Karan. We don't know what's going on with that, and it's oh hell yeah.
That was fun. So I guess for anyone who's unaware, there's the Age of Sigmar narrative has a timeline and things are happening and moving forward. So there's an event. Our story is running parallel to the Broken Realms series at this point, and something happened in Anvil Guard, and I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Takes place during Broken Realms Marathi, if anyone's interested.
Yeah, it's not really in our play space, but Anvilgard was where you all came from when you came out on this expedition, so it is relevant to you guys a little bit.
That's the kind of stuff that would go way over my head and probably Fasta's head.
Yeah. Fair
Dylan,
enough.
what is Maris interested in her life right now?
I'm reading books, taking care of pickles.
What are Maris's hobbies?
Just magical Maris's things. Maybe baking a thing.
Making deals with demons, as one does.
So she didn't know it was a deal. It wasn't clear. It just happened, and she's like, "This is weird. I must have just read books really, really well." Okay,
It really wasn't a deal. You're right.
Isn't
It just kind of happened.
Isn't it like a lot of knowledge, not a lot of wisdom, or is it the other way around?
Bit of both.
A lot of wisdom. Or intelligence, wisdom and intelligence. Oh, okay. That's what it is. What is motivating her? Well, I think at this point, it's kind of like there's a little bit of proving that she's not a baddie, proving that it's okay, proving herself, period. I think that she's just constantly been proving herself since like she was born for whatever reason, whether or not people actually needed her to prove herself. So that's what she's doing. Right? She feels newbie, she feels green, so she's like, I can roll with the big uns. I can punch down like Frostglade, but not really. I guess I punch up.
Just a little bit.
But I was saying, proving herself and like clearing her name, though I don't think she necessarily agrees that she's doing anything wrong. So
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I foresee some level of potentially really dramatic and interesting reckoning between Maris and potentially lots of folks, but in particular Frostglade. He's pretty accepting, but I feel like you're crossing lines that would be difficult to accept. And if you just continued, if you're just like, well, it kind of didn't work out then, but maybe this next time.
He can change, I promise.
And where's the line of death magic and necromancy?
Yeah. These aren't the same things?
Yeah, the line is when you put on the black lipstick and dye your hair.
Yeah.
Or
go
like
goth, it's
have
over.
a necroquake. I mean, who knows?
That's pretty serious. Anywho, that could be really interesting. We'll let Nico go last because he's got the new character. Also, I can't help but want to listen to the sound of my own voice.
Same.
Keep on going with those sultry
voice, not
tones,
mine.
my friend. Yeah.
Thank you. What was the question? Frostglade,
What's motivating your character leading into the next arc?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I woke up and I had some toast. Frostglade is on a path of self-redemption, and he's taken, with the help of the binding, he's taken really concrete steps forward in ways that he probably never expected. Plus, the new glade that he is helping rebuild, and then also daily between now and when we play, and probably after that for a good long time, his short-term goal and mid-term goal and maybe long-term goal is going to be like to maintain the peace between the Caradron and the glade, and then potentially grow that long term. I think he'd love to establish another glade and continue on down this path, but that glade needs to be a multicultural, ideally. And he sees himself being somebody who doesn't really belong anywhere anymore, but finding belonging everywhere suddenly to a certain extent. He sees himself as being maybe a little bit of a conduit or a bridge to that kind of a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So with my new character.
Sneak preview.
A sneak preview exclusive to this Questwing. It's quite simple. It's cleanse the realms.
Of what?
Yes.
Find out next time. But no, I'm just
that was a very
on Questwing.
Yeah. The next Questwing in 6 months. No.
I'm really excited to actually get playing a Soulbound again. Like technically with the recording time, it's been a few months, right?
Yeah,
2
a long
months,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I had to remind myself how to do Frostglade's voice today in the car. Like I was just like, how did I do again?
When I said Maris' voice. No, so that's Maris. That was me trying to say Maris' name, and I'm like, did I do it right or did I just yell? Because sometimes it's just the same.
Yeah,
Nice.
like because the reason is we recorded a lot of those the Caradron saga thing kind of back to back, like really in
Mhm.
rapid
They were like
succession. And
4-hour
it took-
chunks. Yeah.
Yeah, and it took a long time for us to kind of catch up with the recording time because we had to move to 2 weeks for a little while, and then we have obviously had the Fallout stuff, and then we're doing this Questwing. So I'm really looking forward to actually, seeing the party again and actually like moving that story forward and stuff.
Me
So,
too.
really
Do we know
love
who's playing the first game? Back?
We had
the first saga?
We had talked about that first session, but I don't think it ended up happening specifically. So we'll need to
I don't
book
think
it again
anything was
soon.
concrete. No.
Yeah.
So I had a question for Maris, I guess via Dylan.
Via Dylan.
Brock, what's
It's a
what's your
seance
thoughts
now.
on Brocca?
What?
What's your thoughts on Brocca?
I think she's just badass. I don't know how much that is me, how much that is Maris, how that's both. What are you trying to get at, Dave?
He's shooting for fan art. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
He's written
wow.
for fan art.
Oh boy.
I would say that Maris wants to be BFFs forever with Brocca, but she is aromantic. Like she's
Oh,
by
interesting.
aromantic,
Yeah.
she's not someone that's into romance.
Mhm.
Like literally, like she just literally isn't.
Mhm.
So
All right.
good questions.
Well, we're
Yeah.
kind of reaching the end of this episode of Quest Wing. Is there any last questions we want to talk about, or any discussions in general?
Do we have more questions for Dave? Dave, can you tell me about what is the funniest moment that you've experienced? Like the funniest one, whether it's like in the moment or when you were listening back on it.
That's a good question. There have been times when I've been editing where I just like laugh. I can't remember what exactly it was. I was editing an episode recently. I just kept chuckling to myself. I think, oh, this is gonna bother me. This is really gonna bother me actually,
Fix
because
it
I
in
know
post.
there was one
Should I ask someone
specifically.
else?
Sure, yeah.
No, if you can remember it, tell us.
Well, in one of the I guess by this point it'll already come out, like the start of one of those Fallout episodes. We were just, I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
I don't know. Like Isaac like the way you said it was perfect, and it just resonated, and then like we all laughed, and then Dylan snorted, which made me laugh, and then we were like just kept like bouncing off of each other for like
of laughing for 10. What did you say, Isaac? Because like I was losing my shit. I was crying.
Well,
my nose was running.
Oh, I guess we can say it because the episode's going to be out by then, right?
Yeah.
So I had just a little throwaway line that I literally rewrote just before the session. Actually, while you guys were talking, I was typing potentially, which is really dumb. And it was just like not even a pun on the name of the adventure with a bang or a whimper, but I'd had not a lot of sleep, long day at work.
To say, pretty sure you were sleep deprived.
It just nailed me, and I started laughing, and it came out. Have you guys seen the video of the woman doing the
Chewbacca mask?
No, but that sort of a thing, right? Like, the person's trying to hold it together and they can't, and that's the funniest. It ruined me, guys. I know people say that they laugh till they cry. I cried so hard, like there was so many tears.
I won't lie. For a sec there, I was concerned. I was like, "Are you okay?"
I wasn't.
Because
I wasn't
you were like,
sure.
you were wiping your eyes. I was like, "Did something happen at work or something?" That you were like, "Ha ha," and then just had like a break and just like.
Yeah.
I full on had tears on that too.
It was insane.
No,
it was insane.
Yeah.
I hope I get to laugh that hard again in my life. So, but I do have a moment that does stick with me from an actual episode of Soulbound. It was way back, the first episode with Marielle, and I don't know if there was, just thinking about it cracks me up, if there was a problem with her mic or she couldn't hear. I don't think any of that's the case, but Franco starts talking as Cass, and he gets 15 words into a question for the group, and Marielle just jumped in on top and just fucking ignored him 100%. She's just like, "Hey, is there a ladder there or something?"
Wasn't that? Because I think I was.
She was talking about Gulch, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Back from where I come from, we gotta.
Is there a ladder?
Holy crap.
That had to be when I was there, because I feel like I saw Franco's face.
You were there. You were there.
Oh my god.
It was so early.
That was the shore leave episode where you guys were like exploring that band ship. Yeah.
Oh,
that is really good.
Gulch.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but
Yeah.
Not even that's cool and all. Just walked right on top of him.
Just bulldozed.
Oh, that was great.
Sorry.
Yeah. I had one, and the one that I can think of that like is fresh in my mind was in the Karajan Assault saga, where we get to the refinery, and it's like, okay, cool. Now we're right next to the door. We're hanging out, and then a mortar shot hits. Only hits Cass and Phallus, and I think Murray, you're the one who said like, yeah, well, he can see through walls, right? If he's just like Okri. And I just had a moment of like, I'm so fucking dumb. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Just like, oh no, and I just couldn't stop laughing. Like that just comes stock. That is what ether chemists come with. And like Dave straight up said it. It's an ether chemist. He's got all the same gear. He looks just the same. And I went, cool. And did not at all care.
I love how Franco's like, you knew and you didn't say anything. I'm like, well, my character probably didn't know. And also I didn't want to give Dave ideas.
Yeah, exactly. In case Dave didn't know.
In case Dave didn't think of it. I'm just like,
the fact that you just went like, well, yeah, he can see through walls, right? I'm like, oh crap. Oh no, he can.
Oh, I really wish, like, because that's when we talked about him being Nokri, the evil mustache twirling twin of Okri. Yeah. But I felt like we had talked about it a lot more than what was in the episode. But oh man, it was just hilarious to me.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the easy one, but because it was when I'm pretty sure when you first asked me, Murray, if I'd be interested in joining the cast, and I think you had already recorded. I don't know if it had aired, maybe it hadn't aired yet, but I re-listened to the realization. Episode 0 of your character's name. I kept re-listening to it over and over, and then I had to play it to Todd, and I was like, listen to the, because it was just that moment of everyone else in the room is in on the joke and Murray isn't, and I was like, sweet lovely Murray, I've known you for like 10 years, and I was just like, this is it was just you're just like the and then just owning the shit out of it from there then on in.
I mean, I had a moment where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can change the name, and then I think like not even 5 minutes later I was like, you know what, we're just gonna go with this name.
It's too good.
And it's great.
I mean, I had people ask me afterwards when I mentioned it. It's just like, did you do that on purpose? And God's honest truth, no. I did the research.
For me, it's you can tell when you go, I never said it out loud. That's the part that killed me. You just went, oh crap.
It took me so long before I realized it, and Dave caught it immediately too. And
the thing, though, even the thing was, I think if I remember back correctly, like you say it once, and then you kind of do like a voice line, and then we keep talking, and you say it again. Because the first time I was like, okay, I don't think that's what he said, and then the second time it was like, no, that's exactly what he said.
Just the pause and like, it's phallus. This is really funny.
But like Isaac, what you said, that one, I forgot about that with Mariel speaking over Frank. That is like up there too. That was
it's too good.
It was just so bold as brass. I was like,
I'll never not think that's funny. It's
it's really good.
Did that make it into the edit?
Oh yeah. That's why I know about it. I wasn't there for the ep. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And we kind of almost made that like an inside thing too, where
no, it is now. Anytime it's like, gosh, it is. God.
I miss playing with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we need to get some Bort going on soon.
Get little jorts in it.
Secret surgeries all around.
Bort in his jorts. I want fan art of Bort in jorts.
We don't have any official art of Bort.
I like it that way though, because it's just like, what is Bort?
Mysterious. I just figured we were going to reuse the Okri art.
Now that we don't have it, don't worry about it anymore. Yeah, might as well.
Actually, fair enough.
I'm pretty sure Bort's face is like a pug underneath the underneath
the helmet.
That's
why we did a pug on there. Yeah, I can morph a pug face.
Perfect.
Prisma onto there or something. Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
Mm-hmm.
GG's.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll be back next time with an actual episode of Soulbound as we kick off the second half of this adventure. So
prove it, Dave.
Thank you,
Season 2.
Thank you to the lovely players who came out to chat about things and make stupid jokes. Thank you so much.
Thanks a ton. All right,
Bye,
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.